Yeah, let's go! Welcome back to the PP podcast. We got two people here that are like absolute chads. We got Opaldos and whatever the rest of the other guys, Josh.
Fuck you.
Hey, listen, we're all here together for one main important thing only. You guys like game pads, game controllers, gaming, like we got controllers. That's the one and only thing we're talking about here for the next 2.5 hours.
Controlling at the wazoo.
Controllers. Dude, I don't know about you, but like controllers are pretty mad. Like God damn it. Keep in mind this is the one podcast that wasn't started on a lie. You got that one podcast, you know. But yeah, we got the PP podcast.
It's the PP squad.
The PP squad here. So Tom, we'll start off with you, right? Name one controller.
One controller.
Think hard.
You know what? Let's bring up the old NES controller.
Oh, we got the NES controller. What a good start. Have any thoughts
I
about
think
that,
that was my first controller that I used.
I think before we get into the controls we want to bring up, let's talk about what defines a real controller. Like, for example, the DS.
That's good.
Is that a console or is that a whole controller? Because the console is the controller, but it is also the console.
Well, then we might as well bring up the PlayStation Portable, PS Vita, Steam Deck. Switch.
Speaking about PlayStation and controllers, let's bring up their most famous console, the PS Vita.
God damn. For all you audio-only listeners there, he just pulled out a PS Vita.
Found it yesterday.
Those in the car.
That's why you found it.
Yeah, trackpad.
How did you find it?
I was over in the corner in a chest that I've got.
Now, for all those who haven't used the Vita before, can you explain the features? What's the main draw of this?
Tell us what PS Vita is.
All right, so imagine this, right? You've got it's more like a PlayStation 4 control. Oh, well, it's a PlayStation layout, right? Your two sticks on the side towards the bottom, D-pad top left, your typical buttons top right, triangle, circle, X, and square. You know, you select and start the whole shebang, right? But it's a screen in the middle, you know, kind of like the Switch but like a Switch Lite because it can't detach the things.
It's ahead of its time.
Back of the controller is actually a touchpad, right? So think of the PS4 controller that's on the front, but put it on the back of the console. I liked it. A lot of people hate it, but for games like Tearaway or like Little Big Planet and that, I actually thought very convenient. And
why do they hate
no other controllers do that.
Why do people hate the PS Vita?
I thought it was pretty good. But
no, are we talking about the PS Vita console or the controller? You have to specify, Josh.
Well, I'm just going off of what he said, because he said that a lot of people hate it, and he didn't specify whether it was the controller or the console. So far, the only bad thing about the controller is that there's a touchpad on the back, which I find a little bit weird.
Alright, if you look here, right, there is... So normally with a controller, you get like the stick at the bottom that you get that good grip on, right?
Yeah.
PS Vita, there's like a slight, like, not even a centimeter, like not even a fucking millimeter dent where like your fucking middle finger would go, right? It's not comfortable. It's not super comfortable to hold. You got to like do it on like your fingertips. So convenient. It's not comfortable to hold, right? You've got to do a whole ordeal to be like semi-comfortable. But I like their thought process of like integrating touchpad. I thought it was pretty good.
You know, that kind of reminds me like the whole ergonomicy. Yeah, that's a big word that you didn't hear before. The whole ergonomicy of a PS Vita kind of sounds worse. Actually, no, better. Sorry. Than the infamous controller that we all are thinking about right now. You know how big and bulky this one is? It kind of look like 3 triangles just like welded together. We're talking about the Nintendo 64 controller. Don't you just love that one? You have the joystick in like the weirdest freaking place ever, man. Like you have a joystick there, and you have like 4 buttons to the left and 4 buttons to the right, and you have to like dislocate your thumb to use all of it together. Not to mention it had shoulder buttons. Like how are you supposed to hold that thing? It's like it's like the submarine controller, if you remember that.
Oh my God.
I do not remember the submarine controller.
Don't you remember the submarine that had that Logitech controller that disconnected and kind of killed like 7 billionaires?
Oh.
The
No, I like
classic.
that controller. Actually, I have that in my desk right now.
Just don't just don't use it to steer a submarine. I think that's what.
But now, if you were in a submarine, what controller would you use?
I'd have to stick with old reliable Nintendo 64 controller. Cause hear me out. You have up, down, left, right on like D-pad, right? Big yellow buttons, you can't miss them. But then you have A, B, and like shoulder buttons and a big fuck off joystick.
Hmm.
It's quite incredible.
Regarding the Nintendo 3-prong controller, I was under the assumption that they only used the third prong because they wanted to alternate between the D-pad and the thumbstick. Because there were some games that only used either the D-pad or the thumbstick.
Yeah, well, those games they're bad because you don't even. Tell me, do you even remember one game that did that?
Well, no, I just said I
Exactly.
only heard of this. So
But that's not the point. We're talking about the controller. The controller itself was pretty mad because you can put a rumble pack in it, a detachable DualShock, if you will, for all you PlayStation console players out there.
what about the glove controller? Do you guys remember the glove
Oh
controller?
my god, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I love that controller. I loved watching it in regular show.
Can you bring it back? Didn't they? Did you do an updated one?
I have no
Yeah.
idea. The glove controller was pretty mad because, like, first of all, it was a coin flip if it even worked or not. And then you had to, like, mash your wrist. Can either damage
The glove controller is ahead of its time because now we can remake the glove controller specifically for VR. Imagine how baller that would be.
Yeah, it's called what is it, the Index? But that's like way too ahead
I
of
don't know
our
what you're
time.
talking about.
The Valve Index, isn't that just the controller?
Never seen the Valve Index.
I want you guys to Google Reality Quest Glove PlayStation.
Reality Quest.
Look at this fucking thing. It's like, what's that Razer like little keyboard thing? Think
is it one of
of
those?
that strapped to your wrist.
Oh, this looks awful. Alright, for all you audio only listeners out there, right? So imagine putting like some gloves on, but instead of like putting a glove over the top of your wrist, you strap it to your wrist, and underneath it is like a little palm section, and like you cup your hand on it. You have buttons there, and it's like you can move your wrist up and down. It looks painful. Looks like a cast.
Here's the main problem with these types of controllers and also mouses, some mouses. The compact mouses and controllers like these where you have to wrap your palm around it, it results in long-time use. It results in something called crab hand syndrome. Do you know about crab hand syndrome?
Is it like Mr. Krabs?
Yeah, so just imagine curling your hand like a crab, and that's how you function normally with your hand now. Because people have to, because the mouses are so small, and the controllers are so small that you have to like bend over your hand. A lot of like editors, video editors, have this problem.
Yeah, we just had someone in the chat call it a mice with a little nerd emoji. Josh, you're not conveying your point really well.
No, my entire argument based on actual biological fact deduced by nerd emoji.
Listen, you're preaching to the choir here, bud.
And because of those reasons, I'm out. Sorry, sharks.
When did this turn to Shark Tank? No, this is
The minute you guys pulled up the fucking nerd emoji and bend over.
Hey, you're the one that brought that up.
So the chat says bend over. You have to bend over. Okay. Alright, so back to controller speak, right? Controllers. I love controllers, man. Like the first ever controller I actually vividly remember.
Yay.
I don't know if this is a bit of a controversial one, but those TV plug-in plays, I consider that a controller.
I used to have a fucking Star Wars gun, and you'd fucking shoot on the old. Oh, I used to fucking love that.
I used to have a big buck hunting one, but that's not really a controller. That's just more of a laser pointer gun thing.
I used to remember like the old arcade
buttons
controller
on 'em.
types.
No, you have
They
it's the ones where you have
sick.
to actually plug it into your TV through the AV ports. It's a bit ahead
Yeah,
of
like
your
the
time.
arcade version ones like this.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I used to have so many of those growing up in the country. It was actually unreal.
I actually only got one about like 2 years ago.
Dude, 2 years ago? Jesus, they're still making those things. Anyways, right? So,
Yeah, I had one for Dragon Fist.
that's such a... Dragon Quest.
Fist.
Dragon Fist. Never heard of it. Anyways, right? So, I used to have a SpongeBob one where you'd grab SpongeBob's elongated nose and there's like a button where his eye is and you just play it like that with like a bunch of SpongeBob games. They were garbage.
You fucking Google this. What the? Oh, that's an.
Yeah.
What?
For anyone in chat, that we just had a photo. Someone just sent in chat. I had the Dig Dug. Oh.
Now, this is my favorite controller.
Yes.
Chat. We don't talk about what we just saw there, but going back to the SpongeBob, SpongeBob plug and play. There's another one in there that looks like an arcade cabinet, and there's another one that's like a Ninja Turtles one. I didn't have the Ninja Turtles one, but I had the arcade one, and I played the absolute shit out of the arcade one. I loved playing Dig Dug and Rally Racers. But going back to it, like going forward a little bit, what were you guys' thoughts on the what were you guys' thoughts on the PlayStation 1 controller?
Sorry.
PlayStation 1
Josh,
controller.
I know that you just had to join and disconnect because of the power of the Kirby is a little bit too much for you. But how do you feel about PlayStation 1 controllers?
PlayStation 1 controllers.
Yes, PlayStation 1 controllers.
No, let me look at a picture to refresh my memory. It's actually, they're actually kind of like this is the standard controller in my mind, to be honest. When I think of controllers, I kind of think of this one.
Yeah, the PlayStation controller is like one of the most iconic controllers out there, really.
Like Xbox, I think Xbox, the more recent ones have like better like design, but PlayStation just has like the iconic.
Personally,
look.
for me, the worst PlayStation controller there is the PlayStation 3 one. I did not
Really?
necessarily like the no.
You don't like the PlayStation 3 controller?
The PlayStation 3 controller just felt weird compared to like the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 2 controller. PlayStation 2 is so freaking good. I love that controller. But the PS4 controller honestly feels like how a controller should be. It feels nice to hold. The PlayStation 5 one feels a bit too bulky, like an Xbox 360 Xbox One controller.
But what about the haptic feedback of the 5 controller?
So good.
The haptic feedback of the 5 controller is awesome, but I'm just going based off holding it and using it. Like,
Okay.
You want to know one that's based off holding that's a bit funky?
What?
Do you guys remember the original Xbox controller?
Oh boy.
That was a bulky motherfucker.
Yeah. Josh, please stop.
What?
There's some very interesting.
Holy shit! Is this the Xbox One controller? It's fucking obese. What's wrong with this?
Yep.
Oh, we have a few of those in my shop actually.
Oh
Damn.
my god! Why is it like this?
Yep. It was
Obese is actually
very
the proper
awkward.
word to use for that. Holy shit! Yeah.
It was basically just holding a ball. It was not the most comfortable.
Yeah, dude, Xbox controllers, you know what? They took a step, but they took a step in the wrong direction.
Like, you compare original Xbox and PS1, and it's like, ooh. PlayStation's got the controller on that.
Like I know I just sucked Xbox's dick earlier today. Like I was just saying like, oh yeah, I like the features of the Xbox, but like I don't like this controller.
That controller I bought it off of Tom's brother, and I'll say this right now. After about 15 hours of use, the right shoulder buttons just stopped working.
Oh, actually?
Actually, yeah. So, like, I'm feeling quite negative about it, but I like how well the
I mean, it was
Bluetooth connects
pre-owned,
to it.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a pre-owned controller.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what $20 will buy you, I guess.
I mean, all things considered, it was kind of a deal, you know, like
What controller was it?
$20 for it.
Xbox One S controller.
Now, hear me out. I bought a couple PlayStation controllers in my day. Shoulders still work.
That's true. That's true. PlayStation controllers are
I'm
like
saying.
personally my favorite. They really
Maybe you
are.
just don't know how to use a proper controller
Oh,
in the
bro.
correct way.
I'm sorry that I can't click button A on my Xbox One Series
All
S
I'm
controller.
saying is, Tom just said he's bought quite a few controllers and the buttons still work. But yet, 15 hours with you, and this pre-owned controller just suddenly, conks out.
Listen,
I don't know what to tell you.
They just can't handle how strong my thumbs are. All right. Speaking of strong controllers, right? How do you guys feel about the Wii remote?
Oh,
The Wii remote, it's good for what it's made for.
Yeah, but
I've
hear
hit
me
my
out.
sister in the head so many times with it. Those things are like they're pretty solid.
They really are they're pretty solid, man. Like I've thrown my Wii controller into the wall, creating like a shuriken hole wall in the thing, right? Shuriken hole in the
Actually,
wall.
it's through,
Like
not throw.
shut the hell up, Josh. Like I threw that thing through my wall and almost out the other end. I had to go fishing. Like I had to physically go fishing for it out of the wall once.
I feel like the Wii remote is the Nokia phone of controllers.
You know what?
It's very
I was
like
thinking that too. I was really thinking that.
Yeah, it's very durable and all that, but I don't like using them.
You know a Nintendo controller that isn't durable though? The Nintendo GameCube controller. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have had any experiences with them, but I've had a lifetime of experiences with those GameCube controllers.
It looks a bit funky.
They are, but they're so good. It's like my second favorite controller out of the entire list of controllers here. Because it fits in your hand real well.
Why is the thumbstick an angled hole and not like it's just a circle?
Dude, if I worked at Nintendo, I'd be able to tell you these answers. Like, if I worked at Nintendo, I'd be able to like help out with emulation and or like getting their older shit ported to like newer shit. Oh, shut up, phone. But like, hear me out, right? Hear me out. If you've ever used one of them, you'd understand that they feel like the most frail controller ever, but the strongest at the same time.
One thing I don't like about them is the C stick, like the big yellow button or stick. The camera controls just for all GameCube games, I think, just suck in my opinion, and so it's like a pain in the ass to use. But everything else, pretty solid.
Oh yeah, it honestly, like I grew up playing that shit, man. I loved that controller so much. Like I've had like third-party ones when I was playing Smash Bros with my brother. Like we'd get mad, we'd just like bend it in and it'd just break instantly. Then we had to tape it back together, rinse and repeat. Good times, good times. Holy shit. So, I just looked up the Sega Saturn, guys. Now, if I know this is like way before anyone's time, but I just remembered it talking about old consoles. But take a look at that controller. You thought the original Xbox controller was obese? This looks like if your mama ate it.
It's a DVD with buttons. Holy shit!
A DVD with buttons. Now let me paint you guys a picture, right? DVD, buttons on the right, a D-pad on the left, and a circle pad on the left. So how would you use both of them? You don't. Use one at a time. That's crazy. Can you imagine how deformed people's hands are? Like, just by using them?
I guess if you used it like a fight stick, but then like claw gripped the right side, I feel like that's how I would use it.
I don't
I'd
know.
like have it down
I feel
flat.
like I feel like the Sega Saturn is like hella underrated. Like super.
Never even heard of the Sega Saturn before here.
Dude, since I work at like a second-hand shop, right? I seen one Sega Saturn come in. The shit sold for like almost $400, I think. I could be wrong. That was 300. It was crazy. I thought it was so cool, but I couldn't buy it. What about you, Josh? What was your favorite controller?
I haven't actually used many controllers, but I think honestly one of the PlayStation ones, either the DualShock or the PS1 controller. The PS3 one was alright, but it was kind of average. It wasn't like anything special.
I don't know. You've already heard how I feel about the PS3 controller. I thought it was quite mid.
But yeah, either the PS1 or the DualShock for me.
That's fair. Alright. So, I want you guys' opinions on this, right? You guys remember the Xbox 360, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Kinect?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, would you count that
Like Gary's mod on it.
Yeah, I've heard people play Gary's mod on that. But would you consider the Kinect to be a controller? Since you are the controller, sort of speak.
But that's the same thing as me going, is the haptic VR glove a controller? It has no buttons on it, it's just a glove, but it motion captures you. Is that a controller?
That's true.
I
However-
believe the Kinect is the exact same as like a webcam or something. It's not part of the actual computer or console, it's just there.
Because I'm looking at Wikipedia's list of game controllers here, right?
So you're cheating,
'Cause-
basically.
No, I'm not cheating. I remember the Kinect, and I just looked it up, see if there's anything else to it, and see if it was actually a controller. And I saw that it's on the list of game controllers.
I think we have to sort of break down what makes a controller then, because honestly, I think a controller must have buttons on it to be called a controller. The Kinect, not a controller for me. I'm sorry. It only has a camera and an infrared projector and a detector to detect the infrared. That's it. There's nothing else. If it's like 2050 and everyone's using VR, there's no more actual real controllers anymore, then Kinect becomes a controller. But right now, we're in the button analog age. No dice.
So for example, going back to the VR, what you were just saying, right? Would you say like the HTC Vive controllers are controllers?
Yeah, those are controllers because sure you have to move them and everything, but like think of the old like deer hunting games where you had to physically move the gun and then press the button. That is a controller still. So VR Vive, even the Valve Index ones where they're mostly just your hand, those are still controllers because you still need to input commands into them.
So wait, what glove were
This
you talking
Kinect
about?
and the glove.
What glove were you talking about?
What, my deer hunting controller?
No, the glove, because I'm looking at I looked up glove controllers, and I see the Nintendo Power Glove. That's a proper controller because you put your hand in. It has.
I'm not
sensor.
talking about the reality glove. I'm not talking about the reality glove. There's it's called the Tesla. It's the Tesla VR suit glove.
Tesla. Well, that's fucking modern. I thought you were talking about back in the old days, with black and white TVs.
No, I'm. What are you talking about?
Holy shit! Oh my god! I just found a controller that's like, think of the Sega Saturn controller, right? But like a big gash in the middle of it, and like one of those mouse wheels, like big spheres on the upper left-hand side.
Oh, that.
Oh man, this looks like you could kill someone with it.
You look like the Prowler.
Oh, what the fuck? No, I'd say it's a controller because like the fucking things like So for audio listeners,
It's just motion capture. It's just motion
but
capture.
every
though.
time you move your finger, it activates a trigger in the base of the thing, giving a response back.
And what about the Kinect?
The Kinect, I don't know. That's why I asked for you guys' opinions on it, because your actions, obviously, it triggers a trigger within its coding.
Alright,
But,
then
like-
let's take things in a separate non-controller direction. A green screen mocap. They have to wear the fucking green suit, and they have to wear the little like fluff balls on them. Would that be a controller then? Because same thing as a glove. You move around, and it triggers based off the little puff balls.
Yeah, but you're not playing a game though. That's the thing. A controller is made for playing a game or doing some like.
But would it be
task.
considered a controller? Would it be considered a controller?
No, I would say the person inside the suit is the controller, and the suit itself is like an apparatus to interface with a certain program.
Look,
Like, the
I
suit
can, I
does
can get the
nothing.
Glove Reality Quest. I can get the Glove Reality Quest controller. That is a controller because I think it's shaped like a hand, but still you press the buttons on it. I get that, but this Tesla suit glove is just it's just motion capture. That's it.
I don't know. I feel like there's a button on it that like turns it on, so it's like default to the controller.
So hypothetically, computer controller, right? Power button, reset button.
Okay.
So
Okay.
technically, the console is the controller at this point, man. PC.
I'm down to say that the mouse and keyboard is like the ultimate controller.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. But like
Mm.
the PC itself has buttons on it.
All
It
right.
controls the entire thing.
Powerboard has buttons.
Where does the logic end?
All right. To completely derail this conversation, right? What do you guys think about pro controllers?
Pro controllers.
Pro controllers.
Haven't used them, don't intend to.
So
Ah.
I've used like
Oh, the Switch Pro.
like I'm counting that, the Wii U Pro controller, whatever the fuck that is, the Elite Series Xbox as a Pro controller, and like that. I'm surprised actually that PlayStation hasn't made their own version of a pro controller.
Because
Can you
it's
send some pictures?
already magnifique.
The PS5 controller is alright. I'm not much of a fan of it, but like, say for example, Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I have a wired version, and it's actually it feels pretty good, but way better than holding Joy-Cons in that like little mold thing.
Honestly, even though I don't really like vibrating controllers, I don't really like it. Makes my hand just like feel weird afterwards, and it just diminishes the gameplay. But like the haptic for PS5, I approve that. Like it's the only thing I like about the thing because I like the PS5. The bad thing about it is just that it's just a money tactic because they go, oh, the PS5 exclusive, or play Demon Souls Remastered, get the PS5, all that shit, you know. But that's the same to deal with PS4 as well, like Bloodborne, 2014, 2016 game, still only on PS4. It runs in 30 FPS. Come on.
I think Bloodborne is pretty good. I feel like if you played Bloodborne with like a custom controller, like a banana, for example, I think that would be pretty fun. Oh my gosh! Speaking of weird fucking controllers, do you guys remember the Donkey Kong bongos? Primarily.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Game, on GameCube, dude, that was crazy.
Your hands would be like completely numb after playing a game of that.
Like I actually remember playing it once, and like just the amount of effort you need to put in just to like hit a single note, it's crazy.
But
It's
it
like-
gets you more. It gets you more immersed in the game, though.
Oh yeah, I just like hitting. I like unleashing the wrath of a gamer on a bongo, just because one note didn't pick up in my Donkey Kong game.
But to be fair, you're playing a Donkey Kong game, bro. It was always gonna happen.
Oh, fun fact. Speaking of weird, crazy controllers, we're gonna shift back. We're gonna keep shifting into Nintendo's like line of controllers. We're gonna go to the go to Tom's favorite period, the Nintendo DS Lite. Now, it itself as a controller, I'd say is on like par with like Switch controllers, for example, right? It just doesn't have rumbling, and it's not as intuitive, right? However, you keep forget. Everyone forgets that Guitar Hero was on the Nintendo DS Lite.
Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero.
Really?
Yeah, and it had its own custom piece you put into the Game Boy slot to like use the guitar function.
Huh.
Uh,
You're like,
okay, so they just put the little colored things from the guitar.
And it had like a wrist strap to keep it in on your wrist. I loved playing this game. I thought this game was super. There's actually 2 games. It's like Guitar... I don't know what they were called. It's Guitar Hero on Tour and then another Guitar Hero, which I forgot about, but... And they also
I think it was just
Rock
called
Band.
Guitar Hero.
So they made a knockoff one called Band Hero.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry.
Guitar Hero on Tour Modern Hits.
Yeah, Guitar Hero Modern Hits. Which... Oh wait, there's also Decades too. On Tour Decades. Holy crap.
Honestly, regarding Guitar Hero, the guitar, if you're using Guitar Hero, it was kind of like weird for me.
Yeah, I know, right? Tom, you ever played Guitar
Like,
Hero?
I played a Rock Band.
Either way, you use the guitar controller, right?
But yeah.
See, you'd understand our pain. Sorry, Josh. Continue.
I feel
it.
like the proper way to use the guitar in the Guitar Hero controller is to be standing up to it. But like the thing is, my TVs and all that, they weren't like the proper height, because you need a certain height to be like fully immersed in the game, standing up with the Guitar Hero controller.
Mm.
Like sitting down, it's the normal way to play it, but it just feels weird.
Dude, I thought, like, every time I played Guitar Hero, I was like, what, 9 years old? I could never hit the orange notes. Like, I could never hit that 5th note. My hands were just too small. But, like, I would crush out levels that had, like, 4 notes. Like, I had 100% those. Like, I think it only went up to medium, unfortunately. And goddamn, it was so much fun, especially hitting the whammy bar, bro. Like having a whammy bar on a guitar that you played on a virtual video game. I think Guitar Hero is honestly ahead of its time.
Oh yeah. Why do you think it has such a like core following?
Exactly, bro. I love that game. Oh, you know what would be a mad... Okay. Just going straight into a different topic here, but you know what would be a mad controller? I know Tom would think this is pretty good, but you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Oh, the fucking
dual
deck.
disc, bro. The dual disc.
I still
Having
got
a
it.
dual disc controller would be so mad. I think that could like revolutionize the gaming industry.
But it has to be for certain games, though. I feel like it's going to be a third-party controller because, like because you're thinking of like the exact design in the TV show, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd obviously have to take some liberties of putting buttons on it.
Yeah.
But
well, not just the buttons, but like to like fully use it, you kind of need to like bring your arm to the center of your body.
But hear me out.
If you're using any normal game right now with this as a controller, you're just gonna develop like fucking arm disease.
Make you look like you have Parkinson's. But hear me out, Josh. Konami, big fucking. Is Konami a publisher? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Either way,
Yeah.
Konami brings fucking Yu-Gi-Oh on the PS5 with their new dual disc controller. So many fat nerds are gonna like buy that shit up. They could make millions from it just because they incorporated a key element in the anime. Not only are you appealing to the fat nerds, you're also appealing to the weebs. And you're appealing to nostalgia freaks like myself who just love seeing that shit.
Now imagine playing Metal Gear Solid Original using the dual disc from fucking Yu-Gi-Oh.
Dude, that reminds me of a YouTuber I used to watch called Basically Homeless. Right? What he would do is he'd have a segment called Community Controllers, where people sent him like shit to make a controller out of. One was a pineapple, for example. One was an expired gallon of milk. I don't think he ever used it, but he used some really crazy things. Unfortunately, I won't go too deep into it because they're not official controllers. They're not official controllers. If they were official controllers from, say, PlayStation, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah. It's my favorite kind of controller. Which we can actually use that to branch into, like, different types of controllers, like RC controllers, drone controllers. Like, have you guys ever used, like, a proper drone controller?
No. I don't even know what that is.
I've used, like, cheap drone shit, but, like, not like a proper one.
Oh, wait, like an actual, like, an actual RC drone.
Yeah. My line of work...
Yeah, I think I've used it for, like, 5 minutes.
My line of work is very interesting because I get to tinker around with shit like that all the time. So like, not only do I get to like fuck around with the new iPhone 15 Pro Max, 256GB by the way. My shop $17.99. You should check it out. But, but it's like I don't even know what I was on about. Back to game controllers. Do you guys remember the Dreamcast?
Not the controller specifically.
The Dreamcast was such a fever dream. Tom left, so he's not going to understand what we're talking about. But yeah, that thing I sent is a Dreamcast controller. It looks like something straight out of Space Invaders.
It looks like the ship out of Space Invaders.
Actually, bro. Alright, Tom, while you were gone, we changed subject completely again.
Oh,
so we went to the Dreamcast controller.
Dreamcast.
I posted a picture of it in the chat.
Oh, that fucking thing. Jesus Christ. That's like the Xbox, the original one, but worse.
It looks like something out of Space Invaders.
Yeah. It looks like a modded, like, super bulky Tamagotchi.
Yeah, but this Tamagotchi uses actual batteries. It won't die.
Oh, Jesus.
But you know, this one was crazy. Like, I don't understand it completely. I've looked at it. I never actually got to use it. Wait, there's two models of the Xbox controller. So you have the obese one that you talked about before. Then you have the Xbox controller S, which it went on a diet. That's like the best way to describe it.
So this looks like vaguely normal though.
Yeah. Then the rest, like, if for all you audio only listeners here, right? So it's basically just it's just a standard Xbox controller, but with like the classic like Hulk green Xbox logo.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Are you very knowledgeable about the different varieties of controllers?
What kind of controllers are we talking about?
I want to see a controller that has like a big forehead.
Big forehead, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the PlayStation 5 controller. I'm not gonna lie.
In the PlayStation 5.
Forehead.
Yeah.
Touchpad.
So I'm looking at like the newest controller to come out. And apparently, Amazon has released one in March 1st of 2022, called the Amazon Luna controller. So from the looks of it,
is that for their own console?
Perhaps. It's a cloud gaming platform, actually. Interesting.
I am not a fan. It looks the same as like the Switch, like controller, which I don't like. I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, Switch Pro controller.
It's like, yeah, I don't like it. It's too like flat.
Yeah. Ooh. Speaking of like PlayStation controllers, right? There's a PlayStation controller I recently got. I'm not sure if I packed it up actually, because like I'm just putting shit in boxes now. But there's a small game like called Time Crisis, right?
Mhm.
and it had a gun that came with it. Had a singular button on the stock to like reload. And this is what it looks like. So let's just look in the chat right there, right?
I have that.
Oh, that's sick. I got 2 of them. I got one at a pawn shop when I went up to Dubbo to see, right?
Mm.
And then, like, that was for Time Crisis 2. It looked considerably more shit than this. This one looks
I
pretty
might
mad.
have Time Crisis because I don't know where the PlayStation 1 is, but I know I've got that controller for it.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
And I need to find it. I don't know. I've looked fucking everywhere.
That's actually super mad. Like, you could just buy these ones individually, right? I don't know how much they went for back in the day, but I'm seeing them on eBay right now, and there's people want to get like $68 for them while they're in box still, which is like, it's a cool collector's piece. But $68 dues, man. It's like 2 hours of work. If you're working minimum wage in Australia, I guess. It's like 30-hour minimum wage? I don't know. That's crazy.
Minimum wage is like, what? 20 something?
Fuck.
22?
Oh, fuck.
Like, if you're like an adult, I think it's like 22-ish.
Ooh. Connectivity, Bluetooth. Alright, so what's you guys' opinion on Bluetooth controllers? Like, personally, I think they're very good, but if it's one of those controllers that's just like hella shoddy, the Bluetooth may not be good with that.
So I use like the Bluetooth on the PS5, no issues. Older controllers with the delay that's on them, I would just rather not.
Like, I haven't used my Xbox Series S controller Bluetooth yet, for my PC that is, but on my phone, when I use it for emulators, it looks mad. But, have you guys ever heard of the Ouya controller?
The what?
Oh yeah.
Ouya.
Oh,
why
that
is
fucking thing.
Ouya. Ouya.
Didn't that come out in like 2016 or some shit?
2013,
something like that?
actually.
That was 13?
That was 2013. About
Damn, I
4
remember-
months before the PlayStation 4 controller came out. Wait, June? Sorry, 5 months before the PlayStation 4 controller came out.
This is 10 years old now?
Yeah.
Urge someone call Tick Tick Boom.
Don't worry about that guy. We'll talk. That's another podcast topic. We'll get him on the podcast eventually.
Just show him a picture of this and say this is 10 years old. He'll come.
Listen, we don't talk about that yet. But we're
Okay,
talking about
we're spicing up the controller thing too hard.
You're spicing it up. We're not. You are. But hear me out, right? The Ouya. Have you ever heard of the Ouya? Ouya?
No, I'm not even gonna pretend like I do.
So it's an what the oh my god, I've never heard of this before in my life until just now. So it's an Android-based micro console.
Android-based micro console.
So it started off as a
See how many of
Kickstarter.
these
Okay.
sold.
Oh, less than approximately 200,000 units sold. That's crazy.
200,000, that's damn.
So like, this reminds me of like the Soulja Boy. Ever heard of the Soulja Boy? Soulja Boy Fuse?
I don't want to hear
What do you
about it.
mean by
No.
that?
So the controller with that one, I'm pretty sure this looked like a really ripped off NES controller.
If you search up Soldier, like Soldier Boy Soldier, the first like thing that comes up is Soldier Boy console. Forgot he fucking did that.
Alright, I'm looking at the controller for it, right?
So it's like a game. No.
Alright, okay, I got a picture of its controller right here. If Google doesn't want to like be weird about it, alright.
You get
Copyright issues,
the
I know.
bottom half of a DS, essentially.
I'm looking at the Soulja Boy Fuse, man.
Oh, the fuse. Where am I going?
back into pictures here, right? I
So
posted a
that's-
picture in it.
A slightly alternated Xbox controller.
Yeah, but like it has an extra curve on its top. So if you like curvy controllers, I think this is like one of the best ones you could ever have.
The colors are the same. The letters are the same.
I don't know. I feel like the letters are a bit more vibrant in their coloring.
Damn.
But like the Google Stadia, even the Google Stadia has a better controller. Have you seen that controller?
Does not ring a bell.
So it kind of looks like a PS5
that.
controller, but the home button, actually, it doesn't have the touchpad, and its D-pad is like weird looking, like a
Why is the
Comic
Google
Sans Plus.
Chromecast there?
Because it's the Google Stadia. They have to rep every product.
Not even related to him. Alright, icon 10 out of 10. It's actually like a 1. I don't like the icon. It looks pretty weird like that, to be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
All the buttons and everything look too small for the controller.
You know what the problem is? There's no like outline. There's no grouping outline for the buttons. Like YBAX, that should be outlined in like a big circle with like a slightly darker, maybe like a gray. Same thing with the D-pad and the middle buttons. They can either have no border or they can have a darker gray border.
So what you're saying is, right, if I were to chuck that into Photoshop and add a drop shadow behind it, it would look better.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, that's fair, man. That's fair. Drop shadows literally fix everything in Photoshop.
Like, it just kind of looks like the controller has been like melted.
Ooh,
Like
man.
the base controller like it had melted, and then they solidified it in like a mold cast, and then they just like plopped in the buttons.
All right.
That's how it
Josh.
looks.
Question for you, right? Google Stadia controller versus the Nintendo Virtual Boy controller.
Holy shit!
So,
What is this?
It looks like two
Do these come
promiscuous-
off?
No, they don't. It looks like two promiscuous
Why?
objects connected by a box.
It looks like it's connected by like a portable battery.
Yeah, it's two grips, like welded onto like a battery brick with a wire on it. But keep in mind, the Virtual Boy is one of those ones where like you had to like give yourself tom posture and like move your neck, like extend your neck out to put your eyes.
I mean,
into, like, the
you have to play this with your thumbs. You have to play this with your fucking thumbs or something, man. How do you? This is so shit. What is this? Like, honestly, it has a better appearance than the Stadia, but like, ergonomic feature wise, it's like way beaten by modern controllers.
Dude, modern controllers like shit on this, bro.
I feel like the grips on it would be really nice, but just being able to press the buttons would be a pain in the ass and really uncomfortable.
Like, you have to
Yeah,
have double
that's the whole
jointed
point. Like
thumbs,
the grips are always like very nice, but then when it comes to actually play the game, then it just feels like you're forcing something that shouldn't be there.
Like it looks like, you know those memes where the guy like pours a little bit of water on his thumb and it just like fucking grows?
Yeah.
You have to have like thumbs like that to play this. Like long, you have to have long fucking thumbs. Oh, okay. Have you guys ever heard of the Apple Pippin?
No.
Apple Pippin.
All right, so our boy Tom here is an Apple fanboy, yet he doesn't understand what the Apple Pippin is.
It looks like a boomerang.
I know.
It looks like a banana.
It looks like a white boomerang.
The fuck is that?
It's like the most ergonomic control you can think of. So it's like a boomerang, right? You have your 4 buttons on the right side. You have like your weird gyroscope ball thing in the middle, and your D-pad that's a complete circle. But on the side, okay, we'll go to a PS4 controller real quick. You know, on the PS4 controller, you have like your like charging port down there, where that is. Now imagine that, but with 3 buttons. Like how? Like, you actually have to claw grip this controller.
When did that come out? Was that like back with like Macintoshes and that?
Yes, it came out on the it came out March 28th. Now drum roll please. 1996. So
1996.
for all you people out there who are like telling me, "Oh, I sound too young," just remember, the Apple Pippin's older than me, and most likely older than you.
Damn.
But if you want to go to controllers that like genuinely annoy me a little bit, the 6-button arcade pad that the Sega Genesis had. Post a picture of it in the chat. So think of like a fight stick smash box thing that you'd see at like Tekken tournaments and all that, right? Now imagine that on a controller with only one start button.
Oh, the 6 buttons, they look weird. Why is there not 4 buttons? Okay. But what about this? We've been talking about like very ergonomic, very little weird, but mostly just normal controllers. But what I'm about to show you is the Alpha Grip all-in-one. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh.
Link? Is that just a full USB on the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that a fucking meaty a MIDI USB as well underneath just the regular USB?
See, what Josh posted in chat looks like something you'd like. It looks like the Among Us character for a start. Like, it has the outline of Among Us, but it looks like something some World of Warcraft neckbeard sweat would be using, and be like, "Oh, my controller's almost broken, guys. Give me a second, gotta rebind the keys."
Okay. So the top thing is an adapter at the back, like the USB thing. That one's the adapter, for add-on things like handheld computers, wireless communication modules, and smartphones and whatnot. You can connect your smartphone to this. And the bottom one is the USB port to computer. So it's a AG5 hub for one cable for both keyboard and mouse. So you can connect your keyboard and mouse to this controller for some reason.
I'm just looking at the keys that are on it. Like, it has caps lock. What the fuck?
It has number shift, punctual shift, capital shift, like an enhanced QWERTY letter layout, left and right click. They have a fucking trackball on there.
Huh.
I'm just thinking about typing a sentence on here. Like, think of like Speed Racer, like with words, with that.
A Speed Racer on this controller must like fucking slap, bro. Honestly.
Like, once you get it all down.
Once you become an expert with the Alpha Grip, Speed Racer, it's just no match for you.
Fingers fall naturally, all keys necessary to type 50 words per minute or more. Well, 50 is like pretty average, isn't it? Like, for the average person, they can do 50, can't they?
Oh, what the fuck? Alright, so I just googled something I probably shouldn't have, but it's an article from Game Rant. Have you guys ever heard of Game Rant?
Mm-hmm.
So the title of the article is "Every Official Game Controller Ranked." This is by Sarah Heritage, published July 29, 2021, right? So this is fairly recent. So there's 37 controllers on this list, right? Of the first, because it goes from 37 downwards. So the first 4, there's only 2 I don't recognize, and that we've talked about here. So number 37, can you guess which one that one is?
Original Xbox controller.
No, in fact, that's number 34.
No, it's closer.
Number 37 is the Virtual Boy controller.
The Virtual Boy.
That little mosquito-looking controller that I posted in chat.
The skinny, grippy controller. Yeah. What?
Man, I didn't think it was that bad. Like,
listen,
that has to be like a certain way.
It gets weird. It gets weird here because this is a Japan exclusive controller that Game Rant thinks is a controller. It's called the Sega Toilet. Toilet spelled Toylet. So it looks like it's a screen. Oh my god, okay. So
An interactive urinal video game system?
dude, that actually sounds mad. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
That sounds
It's an
mad.
actual toilet. It's an actual toilet.
Yeah, so like you use your stream, bro. Holy fuck. Sorry to all the women players, I guess.
The women players get a separate controller.
Oh,
They have to play their controller in reverse.
oh my god. Shut the fuck up, Josh. Alright, we're gonna have a hard mental reset here. Because now we have.
You think they have to angle like a C to play the game? Like they have to angle in like a C shape in order to actually play this game.
You know, I imagine they have to get like a controller for the private.
Holy shit! Wait, imagine playing WarioWare on the toilet, bro. Imagine playing fucking WarioWare.
WarioWare of all games, bro. Okay, imagine you're a woman, right, and you get a cup with a tube on it.
Oh, I
You get,
actually
like, a
kind of want
hose
to give that
implanted
to like a woman that I know, and see like how well it works. Because I'm like, I've seen those like around for a while, and I'm like curious on how well they actually work.
They probably suck. Anyways, the next controller is one I bet you haven't. I bet you haven't never heard of. It's called the fuck. I can't say this. Magnavox Odyssey.
Magnavox Odyssey.
Post a picture of it in chat. It's a weird looking controller.
That's just a typewriter. That's actually just a typewriter.
I mean, yeah, but there's controllers there.
What do you even use them for?
Is a keyboard not just a typewriter? Think about it. And
Alright.
didn't we establish keyboard is
So
one of
that
the
was
best
number
controllers?
35. I'm sorry if I said number 34. Number 34 is the Xbox controller. Alright, now going down the list, another 4. We've talked about 3 of the next 4. Kinda. Maybe 2. But number 33 is something Tom and I know quite well. Actually, everyone here knows it. Josh and I know it too. The Vive Wand. The HTC
Vive
Vive
Wand.
controllers.
Mm-hmm.
See, honestly speaking, they're not bad.
No,
However,
they're not really like bad. It's just like you kind of have some weird controls.
the
There's
side
one weird
buttons,
control.
the fucking
Yeah.
side buttons suck to use. I hate those. Other than that, I think it's a
Controversial
pretty fun
opinion.
controller.
Right.
Yeah.
When I went over to you know, WA, right?
Yeah.
Friend had a controller, not a fucking controller, an Index, right?
Yeah.
Index singer. Used it. I was like, oh, I prefer the wands. Honestly,
Really? So you don't like the Valve Index?
the only reason I would get it would be to like move my fingers and do like signing in VR chat. That is the only reason I'd buy them. Apart from that, like grabbing the sides, like just grabbing stuff that like strains your hand. I'll give it that. But for everything else, wands. Then again, I've been using those for ages, so it might just be what I'm comfortable with at the moment.
That's fair.
It's probably just personal preference, man. Because like even I use the Vives a lot because I have a HTC Vive, and when I went to Blake's house and I used his Index, it was pretty weird. I couldn't really get into it. But to be fair, I only really played for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes with the Index with my first time.
That's fair. That's fair.
But it
Alright.
does seem better because I play a lot of fighting games, so it would seem to be pretty good for those types of games.
So that was number 33, right? Can you take a guess at what number 32 is? We've talked about this one a lot. In fact, we found a pretty simple solution on how to fix this controller. Can you guess what it is?
No, I've already forgotten the rest of this podcast.
That's fair. 5, 4, 3, 2, Because I see Tom thinking. One.
I feel like I'm gonna know it as soon as you say it.
So it's the Google Stadia.
Which
The
one
Google
is the
Stadia
Stadia?
controller. If you scroll
Oh.
back up,
Yeah, it's the melted
Yep.
garbage.
the melted garbage, yeah.
Ugh.
So like they placed that one at number 32, which is like, pretty fair. But number 31, however, I know what it is personally, but you guys may not know what it is. Because like I'm fucking old and I grew up on hand-me-downs. This controller right here is called the Atari CX40 joystick. I'll post a picture of it in the chat.
Me when I'm with you.
So it's just a joystick and a button on a box, right? This one's number 31 compared to the Google Stadia.
I mean, but
Wait,
how
so
is...
that one's better than the Vive wand?
Yes.
Yeah. How?
Strongly
How?
disagree.
It's also better than the
That's
original
why.
Xbox controller, the toilet, which is like a phenomenon on itself, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like this controller actually carried my childhood a little bit. I loved playing with this one. All right, number 30. Everyone knows this. The classic NES controller. Simple, straight to the point. Mario speedrunners actually still use this type of controller. In fact, there's a certain model of controller that enables like a turbo jump button type of thing. I forget which one it is because it really wasn't interesting. Now let's see here. Oh my god. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these next 4, I believe we talked about 3 of the 4 of them here. The one of them being, we touched on it slightly, but a different model of it. So number 29, the Dreamcast controller. Mind you, this controller beat out the Valve Wand, the Google Stadia, and the Sega Toilet.
Wait.
The chunky Tamagotchi.
The Space Invaders one with a fucking screen on it.
Wait. Isn't Dream that one pedophile though? Who's he casting?
Okay.
What movie is it?
Listen, you keep talking about that. Gumball's gotta show up.
Yeah, he's gonna
Which
try
brings
and
us
tap
into
me up.
number 28, the Power Glove. And I shit you not, this isn't an image I found off the internet. This is an image they have on the website.
Oh my fuck.
So it's just a Power Glove with a picture of Thanos underneath it.
I mean, what games
original
could you
Infinity
play on the
Glove.
Power Glove? What games did you play on the Power Glove? Could you play any game on it?
I know there's a racing game. I know, fucking use a steering wheel or whatever. But keep in mind, the Power Glove beat out the toilet. The Sega toilet.
Fuck.
I'm never going to let
Where's
this
life
down.
coming to?
Exactly. This controller is supposedly better than a Google Stadia controller. Let that sink in.
Yeah, come on in.
Was it one?
Okay, come on in. Number 27, the Sega Genesis controller. However, this is the standard controller with 3 buttons and a weird looking dial pad. And someone took a homemade photo of this one. They didn't use a graphic like the last ones. I remember using the shit out of this one too. We had Sega Genesis, Sega Master System 1 and 2 when I used to live. Bro, I had it all. Next is number 26. Crazy, I know. We've gone through 11 controllers so far. A whopping 11 controllers. But at number 26, this one's criminally underrated. I feel like this one should at least be top 15. But this one's the DualShock 2, the PlayStation 2 controller. Right?
Is it going to be sent in?
Huh?
Are you going to send a particular picture or anything? I love collecting pictures.
Do you want me to... fine, I'll send a picture of this shit. This guy actually has the memory of a fucking ant, bro.
What? I'm avoiding the controller right now. I just want the picture. Thank you. So yeah, what we're talking about?
Number 26, the DualShock 2, everybody. It gives Josh dementia.
You know one thing I don't like about the PS2 controller
What's that?
is doesn't matter how much you clean it or if it's dry or whatnot. But the sticks, always that little bit sticky.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I actually feel that. Also,
Apart from that, solid controller.
the analog fucking button. What is that even used for?
Is that the one in the middle,
Yeah,
or is that
the bottom
Yeah,
one,
that's
the
one in the
middle
middle.
bottom?
that was to turn it on, wasn't it? No,
No.
because that's wired.
It would be to
PlayStation
change
down.
something. It would be to change it to the fucking, I don't know.
Wasn't there? No, that would make. I was gonna say, wasn't there a wireless version? But that would make sense for the wired ones.
Okay, so Game Ranch really went on a spree with this one for these next four, right? These next four are literally like three of the four of them relate to each other. Like, so it's one after another, just different models.
Okay, wait. The analog button, it turns off or on the analog input of the control sticks. When you turn off the analog, the sticks become digital input like the D-pad.
Uh. Vibe. Alright, so the next four, three of which relate to each other. And they all have the game console in the name. The first word is the console. Right?
It's gonna be like Xbox or PlayStation.
Wrong.
What else has it in the
We've
name?
all owned one of these. It has probably one of the best games on it, the older version of it at least. We all played the shit out of a certain one of them that pertains to a ball.
The Wii.
Yes.
Controller?
So this is the Wii U gamepad, the Wii U Classic controller, and the Wii U Pro controller. One after another after another. So, theory crafting here. Right, theory crafting. These controllers were so bad, or so good, that they had to lump it all into like one after another after another. I'm reading a sentence for the gamepad, and I'm gonna read half of it. I'm not even gonna give you the full context of it. So it says, which leads to a busy and confusing user experience. I can agree with that, because if you've ever used one of those gamepads, the Wii U gamepad, it had like a like not even a button, like a touchpad thing for like going through different games and like closing shit, like how we have on a phone. Like to close different tabs. It's fucking weird, considering everything else is a button. Next, the Wii Classic controller. You know, it looks like a fucking peanut, bro. Here, I'll post a picture of it in chat. It looks like a peanut.
It do.
And the A and B are like a different color to X and Y. Like one has like acrylic button, the other one's like, oh, we just got lazy in like production, so it's just gonna be like standard button.
That's.
It's freaking weird. And then they decided to do it again with the Wii Pro controller, the Wii U Pro controller actually. However, this controller looks pretty good, but they did a really shitty job of photoshopping it into this background image.
Especially, yeah, Jesus Christ.
They did a really bad job. Because it looks like the peanut, both legs. Alright, so this next one we actually haven't talked about. Number 22, the NES Advantage. Right?
Advantage.
This one looks like a Smashbox, a modern day Smashbox. Or like fight stick. We have to get Pro Fight Stick or Loglin Luffaglock here.
They've got dials?
Yeah. Do you think Lachlan will actually come in and like explain to us what a fight stick is? Can you message him? Tell him it's for the podcast.
Where is he?
Logaland. Anyways, while he's trying to get a special guest star in, this like, it's just like an arcade experience. Alright, so number 21 through to number, is that 4 to 18? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's weird. 21, 20, 19, 18. I feel like I'm missing like a number between there, but I'm not. Yeah, this controller, bro. So, this next controller I wanted to talk about, but I completely forgot about it. The Steam controller. Do you guys remember that?
Steam control.
No.
Is that with the when they made the fucking not fucking wireless, the cloud thing,
I have no idea, to be honest.
like the original.
But like, take a look at this, right? There's
Yeah,
three
that one, yeah.
circles on it. Like, one's a D-pad, one's another D-pad, and one's... Oh, what's that? Another D-pad. Like, how how is this thing fun to use? Like, you just slide your thumbs on it.
He?
Huh?
Doesn't Hayden have one of them?
Yeah, he does.
Apparently, he says it's all right, but you have to kind of like get used to it.
I'd say it's like one of those futuristic experiences.
Because it's
But like,
more
it
like
has analog buttons on it.
because what the top right is more like a mouse pad, like a what's it fucking called? Touchpad. I don't know. It's got a word. I can't think of it.
Well, now that we're rounding off the top 20 now, we're at the top 20, guys. Can you believe it? We're almost at number 1, just a week away. Alright, so number 20 is the Xbox 360 controller. The standard wired one. So, what's your thoughts on the Xbox 360 controller, Tom?
I'm not a fan of Xbox controllers. I don't like the fact that the analog sticks aren't in the same spot like PlayStation. It's just even. I might also just be OCD.
That's fair. I mean, the GameCube controller did the same thing. Which I love the GameCube controller. What about you, Josh? What do you think about the Xbox 360 controller?
I think it's a classic. I grew up playing the Xbox 360, the original. We're talking about the original, right? Not the
I think
not
so.
the new one.
I think so.
What do you mean you think so? You're the one who brought it up.
I don't fucking know, bro. I never played this shit. I'm just
So
going
send the
off,
picture. Send the picture.
I'm just going off Game Rant.
Send the fucking picture.
Alright, it's processing.
Alright, special guest is ready.
Oh, Lachlan wants to explain fight boxes to us, smash boxes.
Yeah, this is the original 360 controller. Yeah, it's a classic. I used to play with this all the time, man.
Alright. So right now we're adding in our special guest Lachlan Lefaglock here to help us with understanding the smash box with a fight stick. Oh, here he is now. Hello, Lachlan.
Oh,
Alright,
Local
Lachlan.
pro champion Pug Biscuit.
Pug
Here to
biscuit
talk about fight sticks.
fight sticks.
Alright, can you explain to us what a fight stick is? For those who are unaware at home.
Piss or not.
Scroll up and chat. We've been talking about controllers.
You cannot be serious. How long have you been?
Just over an hour.
God damn. Okay, fucking.
I'll explain to you why later. later.
Okay. Generally, most fight sticks are just to get the arcade experience into the household.
Okay. So, how does one go about learning a fight stick, fight box? It's a very...
You taking the piss, cunt? Actually, like
That
fucking. What are
is
you doing?
I'm padding
trying
out
to- I
for
just
time,
said-
alright? I have to make a
I can
certain
do it.
quota. Just play along, please.
Yeah. Well. Fuck, I don't even know when.
Listen,
I can't fucking take this seriously. Fucking. It's not like Joe Rogan fucking podcast or some shit.
if this was like the Joe Rogan podcast, I'd have you sitting in front of me, bro.
Yeah, smoking some shit.
Hey, Jason right now just facing behind him. He's like, so.
Come on, just tell us your general experiences with it and why you like it compared to like say a PlayStation 4 controller.
I think the feedback you get in your hands is a lot better than, like, for example, PlayStation controllers, like the switches and stuff and the buttons, the lever. Plus, if you go to an actual arcade, you can just clown on all the kids that go there because they don't know how to fucking use it.
with fight sticks now, with the buttons, do they like obviously keyboards have like mechanical and like all that shit, right? So it has different
Like
feedback. Is that the same with is that the same with the buttons there? Are they the same or
Generally your common brand buttons won't have mechanical switches. They'll just have actuators or some shit, I think it is. But there are some brands that have like the same mechanical switches you'd find in keyboards, like Gamer Fingers and Samduxa, I think are the names of the brands.
oh yeah?
Interesting, because like I know with some keyboards, right, if it's mechanical or not, some of them come pre-lubed. Do they need to be lubed? Does the Smashbox need to be lubed?
Not the buttons. No, I have gotten a. You're fucking taking the piss, cunt. I'm not even getting. Nah. Is this Ligma?
No,
Listen.
I just saw a Linus Tech Tips video on how some keycaps come lubed or not.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, no. It's like
I swear, if we're just talking and you're not recording any of this, I'm going to bed.
I assure you it's recording.
Like, I forgot to hit record. Can we do that again?
I assure you it's recording.
Buttons no, levers yes. Actually, on my here we go. Limited edition Seimitsu Evo 2021 lever, which only 180 exist in the world.
Oh, so
It came with lube.
Okay, so you're saying there's like also limited edition shit too? That's actually interesting. We haven't actually dived into like the whole. We haven't actually dived into the whole scarcity of market of controllers. Like, sure, we have our standard Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo controllers, but we haven't actually dived into like limited edition rare controllers. That's interesting. But yeah, go on about Smashboxes. We'll talk about that in a second here.
Smashbox. I think technical name for that is the like box controller that Smash Bros players can use instead of like GameCube controllers.
Wait, so there's actually a difference between a fight stick and a Smashbox?
Yeah.
See, I just called them.
Tell us about that. What's the difference?
Because he could.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about lube. Oh.
Anyway,
Because I know fight stick because you. Actually, let me grab a picture of fight box. What was it? Smashbox.
it's like because Smash Bros has a lot more directions, like the more lenient shit. You can't really do that with buttons.
Post a picture of it.
It's got a fuckload more buttons.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's super jank.
Bro, this looks like something out of like some like 80s sci-fi movie, bro. Like,
You know what? I would rather use that than a fight stick.
Yeah,
like, if I'm ever playing fighter games, I always use D-pad to move.
There's been calls for it to be banned as well due to competitive advantages.
Has there been any like times when you were in tournaments and people just use like this weird jank ass controller, or do they have like standardized controllers for everyone?
I've seen 2 instances of that.
Oh.
First one was at a bar in Brisbane, in Fortitude Valley, called Bloodhound. Someone brought in a modified Guitar Hero controller.
Oh, what the fuck?
They swapped out the PCBs and then changed, like, made the wiring like work with the buttons on it.
Damn.
It's a piece of shit, but it worked. And the other one was a custom-made piece from a guy in Brazil, and it was called the Ergo Box.
Ergo Box. Like,
Yeah.
Is that what he named it?
That's what it's called. It's a piece from a guy in Brazil. He only makes 25 of them a year, and this guy managed to get on a list for one of them.
Oh, also this is actual pedigree type of shit. Holy fuck.
Hmm.
Damn. That's crazy. Well, Lachlan, would you want to stay around and we explain Game Rant's top 37 controllers? Because right now we're currently on number 19.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, can you link me so I can get a...
Oh, we're talking about it right now.
Okay, yeah, I'll stick around for a bit.
Because if you scroll back up in chat, we've just been posting interesting controllers.
I was wondering why you were talking about controllers. It's like, why is the Dreamcast handheld there?
Trust me, that's not the case. This is just a result of why I'm doing this. I'll explain the whole thing later to you. Let's just say this podcast wasn't founded on a lie.
The hell is the Reality Quest glove?
It's for reality, bro.
Speaking of Quest, I'm getting my Meta Quest 3 tomorrow.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Oh, yeah, speaking of the Meta Quest.
Yeah, they
I've seen
just gave it
controllers for
Steam Link. They literally just gave it Steam Link like 2 days ago.
Do you think I'll be able to use my Steam controller with that?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Because, like, I've actually, when Hayden came down to Dubbo, right? He brought his MetaQuest through with him. And I got to feel the controllers to that. They felt very weird. Like, I've used the Oculus Rift S controllers. And those actually felt really good. Rift S controllers feel super good. And those ones, they're a bit smaller. And it felt a bit awkward to hold. It's like I was holding, like, what's the word? It's like I'm holding 2 railroad spikes. Like, small ones. But
That
they're
sounds
not
like
as heavy. They just felt weird. Plus, like, the circle is above the hand and, like, too close to my hand. It's probably because I have, like, big meaty claws. But, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, Rockstar Games trailer announcement as well.
Welcome, please. This is a podcast purely about game controllers.
Do you want to know when it
Hypothetically.
is here?
Let me guess. 5th of December, 2023.
Yes, but what time and local Australian
Oh,
time?
shut the fuck up.
In Sydney, it will be at 1 a.m. on Wednesday. And for Queensland, it'll be midnight on Wednesday.
Cool. Going back to the top
Fuck off.
37 controllers. You know what?
Why
Thank
37?
you for
That
coming
seems
onto the
dodgy.
podcast. Hope you have a great day. Alright, now that he's gone. Back to the top, back to number 19 here. Back to the PlayStation 1 DualShock at number 19. How does that make you feel?
Number PlayStation 1.
DualShock. So this one actually has like the
DualShock
joysticks to it.
What was the one without DualShock? Wasn't that like 37?
37
like
was a Virtual Boy.
38? What
There's
was,
no
the
38.
original one?
That
So PlayStation 1 hasn't gone yet?
no, that's not. No, it hasn't. This is number 19.
Oh, I thought it has.
Yeah, indeed.
So it's going to be like, that's a big jump for DualShock.
Alright, this is a very controversial position. This is at number 18, this next one. It's called the PlayStation Move. It's the VR things for PlayStation 4. I know you've had experience with them.
Oh.
Now.
Yes. Yes,
You
I
know what
guess
the
so.
wands?
Yes, the
Mhm.
ones.
The
They're
blue
so
and
shit.
red wands?
I think so. I mean, this here. I'll show you what I mean. This one has a blue wand and like a weird, like controller looking one.
So I thought they were... So yeah, depending on the game, either you had the one on the left, which was kind of like a joystick controller, and the one on the right, which was the ball, which is like the motion thing with the eye camera.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you'd have 2 balls controllers for depending on what you're doing. I didn't have the joystick controller, so I held half of the controller on one hand and then used the other thing on the other hand, and that's how I used to play.
It's fucking weird, bro.
But,
Because I remember going down there the first time, and you had a PlayStation 4 VR. It was probably
Yep,
one of
I
my,
still have it.
It was probably like one of my worst VR experiences I've ever had.
Yep. And you know what? It has not been used since. I do not like it. You only have not even 180 degrees of looking like availability. Or playable, I guess.
Okay, so I just took a peek at the next one. This one may be a bit controversial too, actually. Number 17. The Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. Right? As an avid Switch player myself, I think the Joy-Cons have their fair share of faults, right? Like Joy-Con drift, because they just didn't want to put that little extra bit of plastic in it, so where like dust and shit doesn't get into the main thing. They're fucking being lazy, obviously. But like, there's another thing. The left and right for me. Going back to the Xbox One S controller issue. The left and right buttons sometimes wouldn't work for me. Mainly the right side. Coincidence? I don't think so. But
Josh might just be right, and you might not know how to use a controller.
I told you. I told
listen,
you.
I know how to use a fucking controller.
Listen, one time, blame the controller, sure. But when it happens multiple times, same issue.
You have okay. Here, okay.
Mayhaps.
Listen, the Nintendo Switch one, purely my fault. I will say that. However, because that Switch when I got it was brand new. I've had it for like, what, 6 years now? Give or take? Maybe 5. Anyways, that Xbox controller that I bought off Connor was pre-used. The dude plays FIFA, and we all know how FIFA players get. Worse than League players. Trust me.
FIFA?
Your brother plays FIFA, right?
That was my cousin.
Your brother plays some weird fucking games, bro. I tell you what. Anyways.
I like Call of Duty. And Fortnite.
Anyways. That was pre-owned. Pre-loved. Like, he loved that thing, I'll tell you what. Okay, getting sidetracked. Number 16. Tom has had experience with this one that he actually shared with us prior. Can you guess what it is? And this one's also another crappy Photoshop edit too.
A controller. What did I have a bitch about? Oh, yes.
Yeah, the Valve Index. If you take a look at the photo, on like one of the wrist straps there, they forgot to like cut out the white bit.
Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake. Anyways, I haven't used these ones personally, but I've heard only good things about these. Which I don't know why. It looks like I've actually never seen these things. I thought there'd be something that like connect to your fingers, like individually track them that way. Something like a power glove thing, or that Tesla glove that Josh showed before.
Like, I thought it was going to be like little divots where each finger goes, and that's detected, but it's not. It's a solid stick.
Like, I assume that like it connects to your wrist and you don't have to hold it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
So like
cool.
you squeeze it in so it's like not super tight, but like tight enough where you can like move your hands and so you can have it open. So it's fairly secure. Like you can still like if you're going to be like punching something, you're going to be having a closed fist anyway. They're going to be holding onto it. But for things like grabbing, like opening your hand or doing that, it's not going to come off.
Huh. Alright. So, this next controller, so number 15 and 14, they both look identical. However, they both have clear functionality to it. Right? This is the 6-axis. Ever heard of it?
I don't think so.
So,
Name-wise, I don't know it.
So, I'll post a picture of it, right? And you're going to say, hey, that's the controller, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the PlayStation 3 controller. Like, pound for pound. But, it's the 6-axis. And it's used for the PlayStation Portable Go via Bluetooth. Yeah. So why would...
They really chose a very individual design.
Yep. And number
The
14
only
is...
difference is they don't have the light. Like
And the best part is,
that's the only...
number 14 is the DualShock 3, but I'm pretty sure they just got a different image of the 6-axis for this. Just at a different angle. Alright,
Jesus.
number 13. I've used a wired version of this. The Switch Pro controller. I think this controller's pretty valid. Because it's like an inbuilt gyroscope that you can toggle on and off.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah. I mainly got this because when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, like it just kept shaking. Even though I was staying still. So I'm like, fuck this. Get a controller. Worked beautifully. But you know, that controller was pretty mad. But you know, okay, let's take a look at the next four, right? 2, 3. Alright, so the next four, we've talked about 3 of these. Coming in at number 12, Game Rant says the number 12 best controller is the DualShock 4. The PlayStation 4 controller. Personally speaking, I think this is the best controller. I love the PlayStation 4 controller. It feels...
ever?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say ever, because I personally like this controller a lot. The one thing I don't like about it is the Bluetooth connectivity to, like, phones and shit. It's so delayed. But then again, I was using, like, classic PlayStation 4 controller. Not like the PlayStation 4 Pro controller, so to speak. Like, believe it or not, there are different models of the PlayStation 4 controller. What about you, Josh? What's your experience with it?
I haven't played with it all too much because I only recently got PS4. But to be honest, it's alright. Like, it doesn't have the same nostalgia feel as the original Xbox 360 controller for me, but it works. And yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be like very like breakable. It seems to be alright durability wise. It's pretty comfortable in the hand. The things aren't like too tightly screwed on. So you know how sometimes you move like the analog sticks, and sometimes it's just like really hard to move.
Yeah.
It's not like that where you just can't move it. It's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best of all time, but so far, it's pretty high ranking.
Just to quickly cut away from the conversation, I'm just finding I'm like having some like post humor of how Lachlan thought we were just taking the shit out of him. It's like it just processed with me that like he thought he must be so fucking confused. Alright, so after number 11, I'm gonna pass this script off to Josh here so he can share so he can introduce us the last 10 controllers on this list. So
Are you gonna send me the list?
yes, I'll send it after this. So number 11 is the SNES controller. Now, personally speaking, this controller is pretty goated. It's classic, but it has.
Is this the original like square NES?
No, this is like the circular one, like the one that you'd assume that you'd put Earthbound with. This one, and yes, that's the image they have on their fucking website.
Huh. Oh yeah. I actually used this one back when I was moving.
You know, this one's pretty solid. I'd rate it, but like I could not play like long games with it. It would like I remember playing a bit of Metroid when I was a kid.
I think it's better looking than the square one, but the square one is better for long time gaming.
All right, Josh.
What does Tom think about it?
Of the SNES?
Yeah.
For me, it's the same as the Vita. It's too flat. Apart from that, I don't have an issue with it.
Okay. Number 10 on our list is, per my opinion, this is the best controller. The DK Bongos. Okay.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. It ranked high in this list for some fucking reason.
It's better than a PS4 controller.
Alright, let me read you the paragraph. Quote: the DK Bongos were an incredible and creative approach to controller design. A Donkey Konga 2 and 3, and the Donkey Kong Jungle Beat were designed with this piece of kit in mind. Some people may think this this might be a limitation, but oh no, someone has actually completed Dark Souls using the bongo drums. And that is not an impressive piece of media trivia, because anyone would do anything with Dark Souls. I literally saw someone play Dark Souls with their mind. So
fucking extremely fun, bro. Oh, bro.
Alright, so what are we thinking about the Donkey Kong drums?
Honestly, hella underrated. That should be number one. Like,
Tom?
I don't have any experience with them.
Alright, what do you confer off of this image then?
Gas.
it's another poorly photoshopped one. It's quite a trend with game rants, bro.
I think
Okay,
it'd be
number
interesting
9.
to use that.
Number 9 is actual Blicky. You know, we got the Skittle Pop, the NES Zapper.
The Blicky.
You know, if you ever played Wild Gunman or Duck Hunt, yeah, the Blicky would be well known to you.
The more this list goes on, the more I'm like, I want to contact the guy that put this through. It's like, oh.
Quote from the website: ducks, clay pigeons, cowboys, and criminals fell victim to this controller's aim. And honestly, let's move on.
Fuck the Blicky, bro.
Alright, number 8 is the Guitar Hero guitar. You all know this one, honestly. You all know this one. This is the one with the orange one on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
See, that one I can.
Standard one.
That's a good spot, I reckon, for it. Cause
Number 8, yeah.
I feel like this is personal bias. I feel like this rating, like the number 8 rating, is a personal bias. Because the dude admits in the fucking list that, oh, some people say this is a gimmick and has unwieldy handling. But other people love the ambition. What is the ambition, idiot? What does that mean for the controller, dumbass?
I think what they're trying to say is that they're just too lazy to stand up to use the controller, and that they had it on their lap and they're playing it like one of those fucking lap harps.
Anyway, so number 7 now. We have I don't agree with this. I don't agree why this is number 7. We have the Oculus Touch.
It's touch.
Yeah, I sent the picture in.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Honestly, I prefer the HTC Vive over the Oculus Touch. Like, look, this kind of just looks weird.
It kind of looks like the Rift controllers. But the thing is, right, with the Rift controllers, that circle bit is a bit uplifted, so like your hand isn't pressed up against it.
It just going based off this picture, it just looks shit, to be honest.
It's alright. I'd say it's alright. I wouldn't say it's shit.
But just compared to the Vive.
Alright, would you rather a Blicky or or this?
I'd rather the Blicky, man. Honestly. Like, the list says that the main features of this is comfort and simplicity.
Yeah, but players are after all locked away in the headset.
Really? Wait a second. This is number 6 on our list. The fucking GameCube controller.
Yeah, boy, let's fucking go. Let's get.
How's this better than the DualShock? How's this better than the DualShock?
How's it better than the Blicky, bro?
Yeah, man. The satisfying tactile feedback, the fantastic triggers, and finally, the comfortable staggered analog stick layout makes this the best option on the market, without even mentioning its stylish purple hue. Look, this guy has no bitches.
There's obviously a silver one right next to it, too. They came in 3 main colors from what I remember. Black, the indigo purple, and silver.
Nintendo officially re-released it in 2018 to celebrate the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That's how you know this is something special. Honestly, the dude, in the nicest way, go out into the storm.
Fun fact, it's raining right now.
That's exactly why I said it. Alright, 5th is, for some reason, the Wii remote. This is the picture of it. I don't know how this is number 5. The
What's
best
it?
thing about it was how accessible and easy to understand it was. Yeah, okay. I can give it that.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That power button on the Wii remote, especially if you had a case on, was like the hardest thing to press.
Yeah.
Like, I have
The
sausage
power button was a
fingers.
bit too small. Was a bit too small.
A lot too small, man. Like, I have sausage fingers by birth. And being, like, pressing down on that was, like, a challenge. It probably is because, like, the controls broke or some shit like that. Because, like, my brother and I abused the fuck out of them. Like, they abused it.
That's probably why you can't use controllers now.
Shut up. I'll grab the blicky again.
They even own the blicky, bro.
I'll own one eventually.
Okay. Number 4 on our list is the Xbox Series S X.
/X.
The fuck is this title? Yeah.
It's
Whichever the
fucking
ones you
weird.
want. This is just like a generic normal controller. Maybe it's because I'm not looking at it from like a what is the best controller ever. I'm just looking at it from like a this isn't even unique. Like look at this. This is just a normal controller. You know,
It's
and these
too
other ones had
advanced.
like personality. Like the PlayStation ones, you look at them, you know it's PlayStation, and they all follow a similar design. But the Xbox controllers, they're just so generic. Like, look at this thing. Like when you look at a PlayStation controller, you think of PlayStation and controller. When you look at these ones, you just think that's a controller right there. That's not Xbox or a controller. That's just a controller.
Mm.
I don't know. What do you guys think? It says right here the best features are tactile feedback.
PS5 controller. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what you said, Josh, but it's starting to thunder now.
Oh, little baby. Oh, little baby's getting there.
Okay, what the fuck is number 3, Josh? Tell me what number 3 is.
Yeah, number 3 is the Xbox One wireless. Again, same problem, very generic. I'll send the image in, but like it's just picture a controller, and this would be in your mind. Not an iconic
So-
look, just generic.
That and the one above it are the same controller. You can't tell me otherwise.
I see. That's what I'm talking about.
Actually, Tom, that's where you're wrong. The one
It has the
above
middle button.
The one above it has a button in the middle. First of all, second of all, the Xbox logo. Nerd emoji. You could summarize it basically. All right, just go to number 2. Just go to number 2.
And number 2 is the PS5 DualSense. Honestly, I kind of agree with the top 10 pick for this. I'm not sure if it is number 2, but top 10 pick, DualSense, nice haptic feedback. That's the best part about it. Apparently, the gradual force thing as well. That's also pretty good.
Yeah, the inbuilt gyroscope is actually nuts though. I've seen Tom play CS with it. Goddamn.
With the PS5, yeah. I was very surprised on how decent I was with controller.
All right.
It's actually just aiming with it. It's insane.
Yeah, can we get a drum roll for number 1 here?
And the number 1 spot goes to the Nintendo 64 controller. Free Pong asshole.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the article. See, because like I didn't fucking change any of this shit, bro. I got tired of talking when I saw that. I'm like, okay, we're gonna let Josh finish it off from here.
Now listen to this paragraph. This M-shaped bit of kit is one of the most controversial things in gaming history. It has awkward control sticks, excessive buttons, and a clunky directional pad. Players have leveled fair criticism against it for the fact it is near impossible to access all the buttons if they kept their hands in a single position. Furthermore, the top C buttons were meant to control the camera in 3D environments, but the buttons were often assigned to other functions. You'd think that would mean it's like in like the top 30, right? Not like the first position. But, however, the versatility of the design is also its biggest strength. It defined the industry, for better or for worse. It's true, the N64 controller is widely considered a flop. However, this chaotic design summarizes the best thing about gaming, the fearlessness to break boundaries. This list is gay as shit. I don't want to read this list ever again. Why is this here? It ranks the fucking Xbox controllers, all generic, in the top 10s, and says, oh, this is the best. Oh, they're just so good and comfortable. But then this shit fucking controller is number one, and they have 2 paragraphs summarizing why it's bad, and goes, oh, the reason it's good is actually because it's not afraid of flopping, guys. It's not afraid to break the boundaries, which it didn't because it flopped.
I'm starting to think that Game Rant doesn't have anything else to do.
Oh, wait. We have another article here from IGN.
I'm not reading that, bro.
I am. But hear me out, right? We've talked about every other type of controller except for the steering wheel and pedals controllers. So, now, which is a segue into this article, what is the best controller to use for PC gaming? Right? And they rank the Gran Turismo Double D Pro as the best PC racing wheel / controller. Right? And that's number 10. We're going up to the top 10 here.
I swear to God, if the keyboard and mouse is not number 1, they are on a lot of things.
Listen, IGN has only had like 1 or 2 good takes in the past 5 years, bro. Let's be real. Alright, so, you know, Gran Turismo, steering wheel, yada yada, you go left, you go right, you click a button, you go... And, yeah. Number 9. This is an interesting one. This is Lachlan's territory. This is the Razer Kitsune. Kitsune? So, it's like the Smashbox Lachlan showed us. But it looks better. Just straight up looks better.
What is this? What is this, man?
Smashbox.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't you just use the freaking keyboard for this?
I have no idea.
Because it's about the feel.
It's if you play a good deal of arcade or fighting games, you know, it's pretty fucking good. Pick up fight sticks or the Razer Kitsune, you know. Quicker input speed than quicker input speed milliseconds in matter. What? Okay, I'm not gonna read random fucking lines and thing anymore. Next up.
Lazy. How can you call this a podcast if you won't read it, man? Lazy.
Fuck off.
Lazy.
Do you know how long we've been on about controllers, man?
2 hours.
No, 1 hour 47 minutes 52 seconds. All right.
Whoa. It's not like I rounded it up to 2 hours. Oh my God.
1 to 2.5 hours exactly. Next controller at number 8. Can you guess what would be the best PC one? I'll give you a hint. I'll send a picture.
The mouse with the trackball.
No.
That's my guess.
What is...
Just a controller?
Can you guess what it is?
Does it just say controller?
No, it doesn't. See, on Amazon, this one... this one is labeled as the best RGB PC controller.
RGB PC controller?
Yeah.
IGN, grow up.
No, this is an Amazon thing. This is an Amazon thing.
Jeff Bezos, grow up.
This one is the Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma. Try saying that 5 times fast. Well.
No.
See, this is a slick wired controller, you know. I personally, you know, I'd give it a couple tries. Break the L and R button and stop using it.
It looks less like a Razer controller and more like an Alienware controller.
I don't know, that big glaring Xbox button on the top there really fucking tells something otherwise.
No, I think it's just a design choice.
Yeah. The last 3 words in the whole paragraph they have on it is really express yourself. Like, you didn't read the entire paragraph below it, and you really express yourself, you'd be like, oh, this guy's trying to throw hands, bro. What the fuck is this one? IGN is really falling off. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna read it. I want you guys to look at this. This looks like something we saw in the Game Rant article.
What the fuck is that?
This is the 8-bit Do Pro 2. What the fuck?
That is ass.
I'll read you the entire paragraph this time. With retro looks and modern functionality, the 8-bit Do Pro 2, oh my god, is an awesome option for playing classic games on PC. And new games too. The face of this 8-bit Do model gives you the sense of using a classic SNES controller, but the experience should be exponentially better thanks to the modern ergonomic design, quality, buttons, and vibration. It also supports a range of platforms and can connect to your PC over wired USB-C or Bluetooth for 20 hours.
You know what? I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
I think it looks like old granny pants, I'm not gonna lie.
I think if you're going for like retro games and you want to like feel like, you know, you're back in the old controllers,
You want to feel
it is.
sweat.
I think it's a good alternative.
You know what would make it better? Is if you filled up if you had like a tank and you could fill up a little bit of water in it and it squirts out like Mario sweat at you every time you jump.
What's that fucking Wario game?
WarioWare Touch?
The what? On the Wii?
Probably, I don't know.
He like jumps out at you just every time he like jumps at you. It's like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. He like jumps out at you and just like missed.
So,
Oh.
wait, what? Yeah, that was number 7. But on Amazon, this is the best PC controller for a retro game. Oh. Okay. Can you guess what this is? Can you guess what controller this is just by looking at the back of it?
The Xbox modded the Pro controller, whatever, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is the Elite Series 2 controller. Like I haven't played with it, but I've like put them together and sold them online and all that shit. They're fairly standard. They're really solid. I'd recommend. They have a good heft to them. This is something I think all controllers should adopt. Having a personalized case for it that holds mods to it and can charge your controller. I think that's pretty solid. Okay, next at number 5, we have your favorite, Tom.
Ooh.
The Sony DualSense controller. The PS5 controller.
Fuck yeah.
It's pretty solid. It's on Amazon for the best Bluetooth PC controller.
That's true. I don't have any issues with the Bluetooth. Just press the button, connects within a few seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Number 4. Oh my god. Alright, so okay. For all you audio only listeners out there, this looks like an Xbox controller, but it isn't.
I don't believe you.
So this one is number 4, and it's because all of these have like an Amazon link to them for some fucking reason, right? Like an affiliate link, which I'm not going to be clicking on. But this one is labeled Best Wired PC Controller. It's white, and it carries the name of Turtle Beach. This is the Turtle Beach Recon controller. I personally think the
Turtle
black
Beach
one
had a controller.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Comes in 2 colors from what I see. The black and white ones. The black one looks so sick. I actually think the black one looks really nice. Let's see if I can pull the image from Amazon here. Like has like a textured like grips to it.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I would use it. Oh boy. Number 3. Number 3 is probably the best controller I've seen so far. So, going back a good half hour into the podcast, we talked about submarines.
No.
You wouldn't believe it, but the Logitech F310 is the controller at number 3, rounding off our top 3 list. What do you think about that, Josh?
Not very good. Just like about this podcast.
Don't worry. We're almost done. Another 3 hours left.
I really want to leave right now. I really do. As soon as you said that, I just got the greatest urge to just leave.
Sorry, 35 minutes. I looked at the timer wrong.
Yeah, that doesn't make me feel any better, actually. I kind of want to leave more now.
Don't worry about it.
35 minutes? Are you serious?
Don't worry about it, Josh. The payoff will be huge. Trust me.
No, it's not. We're just doing this for you.
Yeah, it's a fake.
Listen, at least this podcast isn't built on a lie. Let's at least note that.
Exactly. Now let me tell you a little bit about the Logitech F310, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a devout keyboard and mouse gamer who imagines yourself rarely using a gamepad, the Logitech F310 is the perfect option for you. It only costs around $20. That's fucking baller. I wonder why it disconnected in the middle of the submarine. But it includes everything you need for occasion. Okay, I can't fucking read this shit. On Amazon, it's labeled as best ultra cheap PC controller. Okay, Tom, I'm gonna tell you this now. This isn't an Xbox controller. This isn't an Xbox controller.
That's an Xbox controller.
What's the deal with the fucking minus plus?
That's a fucking volume
mic
thing, isn't it?
That's a microphone.
Yep. So this one right here is the Power A enhanced wired controller. And this one. So you know we had at number 3 the best ultra cheap PC controller.
Mm.
This one's the best budget PC controller. It gets better, man. So the Power A enhanced.
I fucking doubt it.
I've been holding back some bangers from you guys. This is good.
God. What is it? Let's go. He's dying.
No, bro, you look like you're dying for a second, bro.
I'm on 2 hours sleep, and I worked a 9-hour shift today. Of course, I look like I'm fucking dying.
Don't worry. When you get to work tomorrow, you'll. No, you don't have work tomorrow. You're fine.
Nope.
Oh boy. Well, either way, when you walk.
No, I'm not working tomorrow.
Either way, when you rock up to work on Monday, you can tell all your colleagues about this epic podcast you were on.
I'll play it while I'm coaching. Just on speaker.
Alright, enough getting sidetracked. This is the Power A Enhanced Wired Controller, right? The wired controller is a strong option for ditching wireless connectivity in order to a low price point of under $40 and is often on sale for much less. Sure, you won't get Bluetooth to get some action on your gaming phone. There's a hyperlink on gaming phone, by the way. But the removable micro USB works great with your PC right out the box. Crazy, bro. And since you're tethered to your computer, you'll never need to worry about finding batteries in your junk drawer every few months. I mean, that's a valid point, let's be real. Having to chuck new control Having to chuck new batteries in your controller fucking sucks. Alright.
PlayStation for the win.
Yeah, but that diminishing battery on it, yada yada, etc. Alright.
Yeah, but battery.
You gotta get a
Well, the
big
price you
cons
pay
out
for
of it.
batteries, you can just buy a new controller.
That's true. You can just buy the PS5 controller instead.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so the last controller here is number 1. Tom, can you guess what it is?
Number 1. It's got... You know, my guess? Flight Master... Or Thrustmaster, like, flight stick. Just something real... weird.
Okay, if I were to say you were correct, how would that make you feel?
Sad.
Well, prepare to feel happy because it's the Xbox Core Controller! The crowd is cheering!
No!
Alright, Tom, I'm gonna send you the paragraph here, and I want you to read it out because I'm so fucking thirsty. Look in chat. Can you read that out for me?
Alright. No, let me bring up Notepad and zoom it in. So it's... Oh my god, it didn't fucking... Okay, fuck it. If you're searching for a controller with quality design and ample flexibility in how you use it to game on your PC, the Xbox Core Controller is a solid place to start. Microsoft has created the ergonomic controller that is easy to hold onto thanks to an added grip onto the side, rear, and triggers. Of course, it has familiar Xbox layout, while the majority of its buttons are remappable, convenient, and the D-pad is even more tactile than the Xbox One iteration. I still don't like Xbox controllers.
I think
This is the same one we were talking about before. This is the same one.
It's amazing how much influence the Xbox controllers have.
The fucking Rothschild fucking beaming their Xbox into my head.
Alright, Tom,
Right,
Rothschild's
reckon.
paying off all game rants.
I reckon if Windows, right, like Microsoft Windows, fucking that whole Microsoft owns, you know, Xbox whole fucking ordeal. If that wasn't like the case, I reckon people would more likely use PlayStation controllers than Xbox controllers for PC. I reckon.
Alright, so I just did another quick Google search here, right?
Hmm.
Do we trust USA Today?
No.
You've piqued my interest.
Alright, so this article is the 10 worst video game controllers of all time.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta fucking disable my ad blocker again. Hold on. God fucking damn it. So, before we get started, what do you think is the worst controller?
That fucking... What did I say that was like the DVD with buttons?
Sega Saturn.
That, I think that's pretty shocking.
Alright, so I have the 10 worst controllers, and from the looks of it, these aren't ranked in any order. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the... Oh, this is gonna be fun. Alright, so coming in, the first thing they have, right? It doesn't even tell me what the fucking name of it is. Oh, okay, yeah,
That's
okay, here, never
convenient.
mind. It really is. So this one... Okay, so if I say Atari, do you think of, like, the worst fucking controllers imaginable?
Let me Google the Atari controllers again.
No, like, there's a lot of them. Here, I'll even send the link in the chat for this one, so we all can just take a look. So if you scroll down a little bit,
Happy as a ribbon, Matt.
I mean, if I just look at the Atari controllers here, I don't think they're horrible.
so the Atari 5200
They
controllers,
do their purpose.
apparently the Atari 5200 is pretty bad. Never fucking seen it in my life. Never used one. But going off of what they're saying here, exactly. So they wanted. So from reading what they're saying in the article here, the TLDRs, they tried to mimic a mobile phone, but they had an analog joystick on top of it. So like you're texting your crush, then you have to use the fucking analog joystick to click send. That's funny.
You know what I hope, Jason?
Oh god, go on.
I hope on the morrow, when your candle goes dim at night, it will extinguish and you be consumed by Frederick Leopold Fazbarrington. Because you're forcing me to be in this stupid podcast.
Yeah, but like, I have this controller, Resident Evil 4 chain
No.
controller.
No!
I think this controller is pretty badass.
Yeah, but think about, how does this make you feel? Wait, oh, it's loading.
I know that would make me a bit uneasy. I'm not gonna lie.
Nintendo Switch Dragon Quest slime controller.
That's a fairly recent one too. That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like they puked a fucking user interface on a controller.
Once again, it's circular. I don't fucking like it.
Hey, do you
The
guys,
chainsaw one, like the Resident Evil one, actually looks pretty good.
do you guys remember that boomerang one for like the Sega that we had up here?
Hmm.
Look at this one. You scroll a couple down from that, we have the PlayStation 3 boomerang controller.
And this could be
No.
a cock ring.
Now, hot take, this one looks pretty fun to use.
I feel like
It
it
looks
looks,
very
like it
awkward
wouldn't be very comfortable, but I feel like it would be better than what you'd think.
I feel like it'd make a better sex toy than an actual fucking controller. Keep in mind, this was announced in E3 2005. So
It's
this is
in
like
fucking preschool.
this is an old fucking
It's in
controller.
day kit. Jesus.
Oh my god!
Oh, the one under it's even more ass.
I know! I was just about
What
to
the
say
fuck?
the Reflex
It's not-
Paradox trackball controller.
I shit on like controllers because everyone tries to mimic Xbox. The one that tries to mimic PlayStation, it is not it.
It looks
They even
like-
have a separate R3 button, which is kind of nice, but like, no.
Alright, so for all you audio listeners at home, this looks like the right joystick. The right joystick looks like a fucking hemorrhoid. And Tom,
One whole cheek of a baboon's ass is just glued on there. That's. I don't like it.
apparently Intel made a controller.
Speaking about things that look like sex toys,
This one looks like the donut that you'd sit on if you have a hemorrhoid. So this is like a big
Jesus.
U-shaped controller that like I don't know what the point
oh,
is.
it literally says it looks like a sex toy underneath it.
Oh, but
They just need to stick with making CPUs.
they really do. I'd get myself an Intel Wireless Series gamepad. They look fire to use. Honestly, I feel like you need to like flip it around and use it that way.
Yeah.
I feel like if you flipped it around, it'd be better. But now you have the Power Glove. That's a hot take. What do you think about the Power Glove?
I reckon the Power Glove would actually be decent to use. I reckon it'd actually be alright.
You know, like, Josh,
What?
what's your opinion on the Power Glove before I start going on?
Just go on. Say what you want to say.
No. I need to hear what you want to say first.
No, I'm think I'm defeated at the moment.
You heard that first, ladies and gentle worms. It takes 2 hours, 10 minutes of a game controller podcast to break someone. Alright, Xbox Connect, you know, that's pretty standard. What the fuck is a U-Force?
Battleship. It looks like just half of the battleship board.
Mm. Like, I feel like you could just, like, stick your penis in that hole there and, like, control it like that. Like, you jerk up to move up.
I'd give it a solid go.
Okay, I don't even know what this is about, so let's read the fucking description of it. Take everything I said about how motion controls suck, and then set it back to 1989 when the technology simply didn't exist. To make it work, it used 2 perpendicular infrared sensors to detect hand movements, kind of like a theremin, and you let it do things like punch in the game. It worked about as well as you're imagining, which is to say not at all. I'd give it a solid go.
That actually seems like back then, I bet that would be so fucking good. Like, I doubt it'd work all the time, but like just to have that and not touch anything, and like, I reckon that'd actually be pretty sick.
I think it's alright. Let's be real. Like, if we go back to our list of controllers, right? Like, out of all of the controllers, what would you have to say would be the worst controller that you've seen or used? Actually, we'll start off with used. What was the worst controller you've ever used?
That I've ever used. GameCube.
Really? That's a hot take.
I don't like switching. I'm just like...
GameCube controllers you just...
Oh, wait.
It's probably Nintendo 64 controllers you're thinking of.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yep, Nintendo 64. I like GameCube controller. I don't like Nintendo 64.
That's valid.
They're a pain. I don't know.
Alright. Josh, what do you think is like... What do you think is the worst controller you've ever used?
I don't want to be here anymore. Look at his profile picture.
Josh, what do you think is the worst controller you've ever used?
I don't know. Should pick one for me.
Josh, what if I told you if you thought of one that you've used and you didn't like, I'll give you a Scooby snack? Come on, bro. Be a little more enthusiastic.
We're
gonna keep the listening time up.
The PS1 controller.
Okay, why would you say that?
It felt like the buttons were gonna come off anytime I pressed them in. It wasn't deep enough in the controller mold, I guess. It didn't feel good to press the button.
Fair enough.
And the stick was also very hard to use.
So if I had to go with mine, right, I'd probably have to say either... actually, you know what?
Where's my Scooby snack, huh?
Your Scooby snack will come in the mail in 3 to 5 business days.
How about my Scooby snack is another word for Discord Nitro?
Okay, Ticky. Alright.
Yeah, get your best friend Tick Tick Boom Skepcity to give me Discord Nitro.
I fucking will. Alright.
I'll create an alt account to be an e-girl for him, I guess.
My worst controller I think I've ever used has to be like the 3DS gamepad. Right? Hear me out. I played Metroid Samus Returns on it, which is like a Metroid 2 remake on the 3DS. First of all, phenomenal game. Second of all, after like an hour of playing it, my hands felt like they had stage 4 fucking arthritis in it or something. Like, my hands hurt so fucking much after holding it for that long. Playing Pokemon's fine, it's a casual game. But when you're playing like a Metroidvania game on that small of a console, your hands are like so stressed. They hurt a fucking lot. Oh, yeah. What do you think about that one, Tom? I bet you didn't see that one coming.
I did not.
Other than that,
It was
yeah.
I forgot the quote. Come out of left field. That's what I was going for.
All right. Well, here's a right field question for you, Tom. What's your favorite controller? It's not the PS4 or 5.
That's not a PlayStation controller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, easy. Keyboard, mouse. Little combo there.
Little combo there, indeed.
But like actual controller. I don't like this question anymore.
I mean, personally saying, for you, I bet maybe like the Logitech F310 because billionaires and all that.
I did have an old Logitech controller. It wasn't that one, and that one, like, it was all right. It worked. You know what? The Wii stick.
Really?
I'm a big fan. I like the Wii stick. I've probably used, apart from PlayStation controllers, it's probably the one that I've used the most, apart from like keyboard, mouse.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, guys, I got a tinkle.
Okay. All right, Josh, what about you? What's your favorite controller?
Yarg, portside head so sloppy. I needed me a deckhand to clean the mess. Plank. Get scurvy.
Okay, but like, what's your favorite game?
The DualShock 2 is the best modern controller I have. But in terms of everything, feelings and ergonomics, it would have to be the Xbox 360 original controller, because that is the controller I used the most.
Fair enough. For me, I would have to go with the good old classic PlayStation 4 controller. Or the GameCube controller. It's toss up between those two. But Josh, I want you to define something for me, right? What defines controller ergonomy?
The reduced chance of hand disease that you'd get from using a controller for over long periods of time.
Then how do you make a controller ergonomic?
You make a controller ergonomic by making it so that your hand doesn't have to bend as much out of shape as it should. For example, the problem with the compact mouses is that it was so small and so obtuse that you had to bend your hand over like a pillar to use the mouse. And then over time, your hand would just kind of like stay that way because of your like tendons and all that shit. The way to make something ergonomic is to make it not so small that you have to bend your hand like a square, but not so big that you can't wrap your hands around it comfortably, while also reaching with the keybinds.
That puts it in new perspective. So what if you say like, what if I said I get a keyboard, right? Your standard keyboard, right? And you just put that in a controller.
That would be astronomically shit, depending on how it turns out.
It's like one of those. It's like that Razer Naga MMO fucking mouse. 30 different keybinds.
Do you have a picture?
On it. Let me see if I try to find it here. The Razer Naga. Yeah, Naga Trinity. Here, I'll post it in chat.
That's... Why are we talking about mouses? Aren't we talking about controllers?
Yeah, but like, I tell you, what if we put like a keyboard in a controller?
Isn't the controller that you wanted? Is the mouse that you wanted?
That's completely off topic, Josh. Shut up. Alright. Evolution of the video game controller. the fifth evolution looks like a fucking penis. That's the wrong image. It's the wrong image again. Copy image. It's not giving me the right image. Anyway, so it goes from like the Atari home Pong console, right? That's something I bet you've never heard of, with you boomers and you baby boomers and all that. Bet you've never heard of the Atari home Pong console. It's basically what's kickstarted gaming entirely. Then to the Atari 2600, you know, classic joystick and button. Classic, you know. Then we have the then we have the Nintendo Entertainment System. Starting the whole strong foundation of all of gaming. Then you have the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive controller, which, personally speaking, best old controller, like best pre-2000s controller. Like, I know it's a hot take compared to like the SNES controller, but personally speaking, I think it's probably one of the best. Then the Commodore 64 games controller. You ever heard of that one, Tom? Tom, you're muted. Tom, you're muted.
Fuck. Commodore the car is the only Commodore I've heard of, and that's got a steering wheel.
Alright, hold on. Commodore 64.
So that explains why you guys were fucking ignoring me before.
How long have you been talking?
I'm just talking a little bit. All I mentioned was, do you remember the Wii bowling thing? Like the bowling controller?
They had a bowling controller? I'll look this up.
It was like a bowling ball with, I think it had like a few buttons on it as well. I'm pretty sure it's for like Wii Sports.
Holy shit, they did. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then you can also go into like the attachments for like the gun, the tennis racket. It's crazy. It's so much marketable shit. The steering wheel for fucking Mario Kart. It's crazy. You know what else is crazy? Me, I was crazy once. Then I got the Commodore 64 Nintendo fucking game system controller. Then I'm like, holy shit, this is bad. Then I got the Super Nintendo Entertainment System controller, which, to be fair, it's pretty baller. But the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive controller are like so much better. And then here's a controller I guarantee you've never heard of. The Atari Jaguar. So
is that the one with a bunch of buttons?
It's like the one with like keypad underneath it. Yeah, like you can dial for pizza in the middle of playing your game.
Yeah, I've actually heard of that one. Yeah.
Sure you have, buddy. Sure you have.
How about you, Joshua?
What? What are we talking about?
The Jaguar.
Do you have a picture of it?
Look it up yourself.
Hold up.
The Cheetah Annihilator. What the fuck is this controller, man?
Look up Atari Jaguar.
I don't want to look it up, man.
Come on, Josh. We have to pad out runtime somehow.
How much longer we gotta do runtime?
This looks like a fucking dial-up phone.
I mean, yeah, you can play your games while ordering pizza from, like, fucking Domino's or something, you know? And then, like, when the pizza delivery guy comes, he's like, yo, 1v1 me in Atari COD, and I'll pay double.
What games are you supposed to play this on?
I have no fucking clue. Then you have the Neo Geo CD. Like, I honestly have never heard of this console in my life. I feel like this console is, like, made up.
And then you just don't send any picture of it?
Yeah, I'm not bothered, bro. I'm reading off a graph. Here,
if you guys want to know what the Neo Geo CD looks like, it looks like a fucking TV remote.
Yeah, but on its side. I'm just following that graph I sent in chat.
Stinky.
Stinky, stinky. Then we have the Sony PlayStation controller, which, you know, it's pretty standard.
Honestly, to be honest, right now, instead of doing this podcast, I'd rather get fucking heart palpitations playing League of Legends.
I think you might have an addiction.
Whenever I played League of Legends, I start to shake, get cold sweats, my heart starts beating fast, and I can't see properly. I start to get blurry vision.
Are you getting wind streaks?
No.
That's
Actually,
your
yeah,
problem.
most of the time, actually. I've never played better, but at the same time, I'm physically suffering.
That's what
How long have we been going for?
Not long enough, bro.
We've
Surely it's
already
been more
talking
than
for
2
2 or 3
hours.
We've already been
It's-
talking about 2.5 hours already. We can
We're
just leave. We can just leave. We can leave
no,
right now.
No, we have
We can
5
just leave.
minutes left. We have 5 minutes left. Trust me.
No, we can just
On
leave.
God,
We can just
on God,
leave.
we have 5 minutes left.
Just let me leave. Just let me leave.
Josh, okay. If you had to pick any controller to play League on, what controller would it be and why?
One of those keyboard controllers. I used to fucking Power Glove at this point.
How would you play League on a Power Glove?
I'll play set and start punching the air. And every so often, I'd use the one button on the Power Glove to flash.
How about the Xbox Connect?
Fuck that controller. Bro. You are the controller. The only reason why it's broken is because you're fat.
Skill issue? More like the fat fuck. Stop being obese.
Yeah, Sega Saturn looking at his fucking controller. Fuck.
Okay, I'm opening up draft pick at the moment.
It's fucking 10 o'clock. I'm on 2 hours sleep, work 9-hour shift, and I need food.
3 more minutes, dude. Don't worry, you'll be fine. 3
I'm
more
gonna
minutes.
go make some chicken wings with some spiced honey glaze on
Okay,
them.
okay, Tom. What
I'm playing League
controller
of
would you
Legends.
use
Playing League of
to make
Legends.
that? It's a profound question, I know.
Playing League of
Listen,
Legends.
if it had the ability to like change the temperature of like whatever I was on, turn on air fryer, you know, manipulate microwave. You know what? Nah, you know what? The PlayStation Move controller, right? Because you use it like a Harry Potter wand, and it's just like bim, and it turns on. Nah, that'd actually be fun.
Probably would be, yeah.
God.
That would
Honestly
be good.
speaking, what I'd do, I'd use the fucking theremin looking one.
Ooh.
What is it? The fucking... Oh, I didn't have the title with it. I'm not bothered looking for it again. Oh, hold on. Here you go. It's USA Today.
Power field controller.
Is that? No, it's called the U-Force.
Oh.
I'd use the
Well.
U-Force, man. Oh, if you want to put the chicken on... Oh, hold on. Let me just pull out my... Alright, here it is. Alright, they're on. Talk about a theremin diff, bro. Talk about a theremin diff. Alright. So, is there anything you want to... Is there any special controllers that warm your heart right now, Tom, that you want to end off with?
What's... Do we have any honorable mentions that were not mentioned?
Let me bring back the Wikipedia list here. I'd say the Virtual Boy. It's been a trooper. It took our abuse.
Game Boy. Did we even mention Game Boy?
No, we didn't. Considering half of the fucking thing is just gamepad. It's its own controller. I'd say it suffers the same thing as like the 3DS did. With me at least. It just like gave me like
That's
crippling
fair.
thumb spasms and shit. What about you, Josh? Any honorable mentions?
League of Legends.
Lol.
What controller would you say you'd want to play League with again? You said a bad answer before. Chat decided it was a bad answer. What's your answer now? Oh.
I just won't play League of Legends.
He's broken like a controller, guys. Alrighty, that'll have to do it for our episode of the podcast, the PP podcast, the Press Play podcast. 200,000 likes, and we'll make another one next time, 5 hours long, about a different topic of your choice in the comments. Alright, guys, it's a pleasure having you on board today, Thomas, and you too, Josh. Get that mental help you need, Josh. I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, you can join me for my queue at League of Legends.
And blocked.